Jaime, thank you for joining the Brand Marketer Academy here on this slightly windy rooftop.
Great to be here.
Great day.
Yes.
With lots of people sort of in their first 5 to 10 years in the industry, and you've been here being a mentor and, you know, discussing careers. So tell us, what made you want to get into brand marketing?
It's funny, I actually started undergraduate as an accounting major, and I later learned that you need to have financial acumen, and you need to understand how to do analytics, and you need to do things like that to get into marketing. Yeah, I remember sitting in my first class and learning about how milk is on the opposite side of the grocery store, so this way you have to walk the whole store because milk is the thing you need on the regular. And I never understood so much insight and thought and everything that went behind it. So it kind of allowed me to bring what was always my passion for shopping into my career.
Yeah, the perfect meeting is mine. It's like, wait, I can shop and have a career and do this? Perfect.
That works.
Yeah, great. And so what do you love most about it?
There's so many great things about marketing. I think no 2 days are the same, right? So as a marketer, there's roles where I've been in where I've had to work on product innovations. Other times I'm working with the media team or leading new advertising campaigns and working on our communication programs. Other times working on experiential. A lot of times you really have to work so closely with the sales team because it's so important for marketers not just to come up with these lofty ideas in an office building, but not have any idea about what's really happening on the ground. So spending times with sales and understanding whether a marketing idea really could get commercialized and executed correctly is really important. So I think the ability to keep learning and doing things differently and kind of pivoting your skill set, learning different categories over time. Working on a big brand versus a small brand is very different. Whether you're working with a scrappy budget or whether you can, go to town with a really big budget.
And you've worked with some amazing brands in your past. So tell us a little bit about your kind of career and journey, the different brands.
Thank you. I started my career right out of undergrad working at Nabisco. So I remember somebody at the time said, who was working on the Oreo brand team said, it's like, I'm the CEO of Oreo. And that's something that stuck with me, where I was like, wow, you're in charge of everything. And I've heard sometimes marketers say like, oh, I'm just in marketing. And it's really resonated to me that no, you're really the CEO of your brand. You're working with finance, you're working with sales, you're working with research and development, you're working with your agencies, and nobody's going to know your brand better than you do. Inside and out, your P&L, your decisions, your cost of goods, everything that you need to make. So feel confident in that, and that's the value you can provide to anyone at any level. So it's been a lot of fun to keep leveraging that over time.
Doing it. Okay, so then what was your next brand?
After Nabisco, I moved over to sales. I worked as a sales analyst in consumer healthcare. Worked on Coppertone skincare, Dr. Scholl's foot care, which was my least sexy role.
I used to work on that too.
You did?
I did, Not sexy, but very practical.
Very
practical.
Useful. It is. Probably the most practical, useful for me was Claritin allergy products.
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh. I would say my favorite product right now, especially every day, twice a day.
Specifically, yes, exactly. I am like a human barometer for when sales are going to increase.
Oh, yeah. Funny fact, I never used to have allergies in the UK. Then I moved here, hit with them all the time. There's about a 3-week period where I look like I've been punched in the face.
Right?
Yeah, May. It's bad.
May.
Yeah.
Darn May. So then over time, it's taken me over to a lot of different CPG brands. I worked at Colgate-Palmolive. I've worked at Kellogg's on cereals. My first beverages brand was V8 Juice. I later worked 9 years at PepsiCo, and then now I'm 5 years at Proximo Spirits, working on first tequilas and now whiskeys.
It's amazing. Such a great range of brands, and like you say, like you get that experience throughout that journey. How do you feel things have changed in the past few years? Like, because obviously we know we're living in a time of such transformation. What do you think are the biggest changes?
Influencers in general, I think, have been just like one thing that's changed the game. I know like on 1800 Tequila, I had worked with Carmelo Anthony and Azuna and some like really big macro stars, and it's wonderful to work with advertising agencies and media agencies and bring those huge big ads to life in those exciting ways. But influencers have taken off, and like the impact that they can have, and the more affordability, and how to collaborate with them, and in a really exciting way. I think the message is no longer coming one-sided from a marketing team, and it's really coming from the consumers as well. So it's a very healthy dialogue in both directions. And obviously we're in the age of AI right now, so we're starting to figure out how to use it. So I think we're all starting to practice and trial and figure out what works well and what we want to avoid.
Yeah, I love that it's it's not just a one-way dialogue anymore. There's so many different ways to tell this message, right? It's like much more interesting, like much more exciting. It's not just you make one 60-second TV spot and out it goes. You've got to be more inventive. What would be your best advice to anyone who's getting into this industry, just starting out? What would you say to them?
I mean, the number one most important thing is to be curious, and to be passionate, and to not always think of yourself, but as a marketer, to know that you're representing your consumer. So know who your target consumer is, and know that demo inside and out. So you can very easily put on that hat and represent them, and know what you need to do, what decisions you need to make in order to do that. So I think a lot of it comes from that hard work and passion and interest. And then from there, there's, obviously different stages of your career. So, at some stage, you're going to go from becoming an individual contributor to a leader. And at some stages, you're not just going to be executing programs that are happening right now, but you're going to be starting to create the vision on where you want to take the brand and how to not just see data and understand it, but how to interpret it and use those insights to make decisions. So I think it's not rushing your career and just appreciating every one of those learning moments and allowing them to breathe so that you get really good at them with practice.
I love that so much, because I think so much there is this restless ambition of like, I've got to get to the next stage, and you get promoted and then you immediately think of the next thing. It's like, no, take a minute. Sit in this, become the expert. It's not a race. And actually, you taking a minute to really lean into it will set you up for future. I loved also what you said about that transition from being the doer to being the leader. And I think it's not really talked about that much. And there isn't much training and help to make that transition.
You never took a class in that.
Yeah,
you never learned any of those important things.
You just do it or you don't. How do you help your team make that transition?
I think a lot of it comes from coaching. You're right. You want others to avoid the failures that you've had. And how can you make their lives a little bit easier and set them up for success? So I think for most leaders, what probably junior level marketers don't realize is that the most fun part of being a leader is being able to help others and, challenge others and have those healthy dialogues and empower people to experience things that they didn't think they were even capable of doing. So being able to be part of that journey for other people is so much fun.
I couldn't agree more. There is such a joy to, there's joy if you do something, but actually there is more joy when you see a team that you've helped and set up go and exceed. You're like, go, fly, do your thing.
Exactly, because you get to observe it all happening. And it's just like the energy that you get from seeing other people's successes is so exciting for more people.
And in this big age of transformation and AI, would you still recommend marketing as a career to people?
100%. Yeah, absolutely. I still think, we're making goods and, and we're not just selling a liquid, or selling a personality and a story. And it's like there's no AI that's going to be able to replace that. There is such like a human level of involvement with that. I don't necessarily think that AI will be absent from the equation, but how does it continue to hone in or improve or make things faster or easier or more efficient or whatnot? But there's so many fun, exciting things that I think like being in marketing will have always in the future.
I could not agree more. 100%.
Great to hear.
Yeah.
Oh, good. So I still have a career to come.
No, I mean, completely. Like it's a tool, right? And I think there's been these periods in our industry where there have been changes, and this is another one and we will adapt. And I think
Right.
that ideas and creativity and human ingenuity is what's going to get us through.
You're right. We talked earlier about like how the conversation is now two-way, and you're right. Years back when Facebook was first becoming and Instagram and all of social media was emerging, that was really intimidating for
Yes.
companies. Of like, what do you mean other people are going to be
Completely.
telling me about my brand and
Yeah.
I'm not in control anymore?
Yes.
And now it seems obvious and second nature.
Yeah. Well, that's also been interesting with influencers, the
Right.
handing off of your brand, because you can't have it in your voice, it has to be in the influencer's voice. So you have to let them do their thing and take the reins off. And that's always a bit of a moment where brand marketers go, oh, wait, I can't script it. Like, no, you can't.
Yeah.
And actually that's going to give more of an authentic, natural play.
You're right. And when done right, it's better than anything that can be fully scripted because it's so authentic and real and natural. But it's finding that medium ground of how you give them enough information that they need to do what they do so successfully.
Yeah, completely. Okay, one last curveball question. If you weren't working on your brands, you weren't working at Proximo, what is a brand that you'd love to work on?
Ah, that's a great question. What is a brand I would love to work on? I don't know. I've been so lucky to work with these like
you
big,
have done really, really good
brands
ones. You've kind of ticked off this whole world. It's also interesting. I think that things that we were talking about Dr. Scholl's earlier, sometimes there are these brands who you think might not be the most exciting, but actually getting in and it really is, and learning about that category and making a differentiating point in a category like that is incredibly interesting.
Yeah, sometimes it's fun to do categories that you really don't know anything about and that that you're not part of, because then it's just a full learning of like who is the consumer, what are their needs, how is that being met, and so I don't think I have any really like dream categories.
No, I think you're doing so many different categories and different brands. I think every single time you're learning, getting those new skill sets, and we'll keep building from that.
And applying one thing from one brand and category over to another in totally unexpected ways, because you could see how somebody from a beauty brand can add value to a spirits brand and how that can add value to a sneaker brand and to anything.
Yeah, completely. I have to say, alcohol's always my favorite thing to work on because it's just a joy, right? It's all in the sensibility of the brand that you create. You're creating this world out there, and it's such a fun place to play.
It's a fun category.
Yes.
And, it's something that you can talk about when you're at a family barbecue.
Yes, of course.
And other people want
your
to
mom
engage.
knows what it is.
Exactly. Yes. People know what it is. They've seen things. They relate to things. They have a relationship. They've seen it on TV and on their social media. So, I absolutely love working in spirits.
Fantastic. Okay, if you're going to leave people with one tip or one piece of advice coming out of today, what would it be?
One piece of advice out of today, I would say just be confident in yourself. Keep doing what you're doing. Follow the path and don't necessarily think that you know what your path is and that it's going to be linear and on the timeline that you expect it to be in your mind, because I think it's really following the journey and where it takes you, which is where those unexpected, exciting moments come.
I love that so much. Well, thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.